That's amazing.
The dogs.
Is that even a real story?
That's a fact.
This is complete nonsense, Greg.
Read a book.
I guess you are kind of artistic.
Incredible.
What are you even talking about, man?
Go for broke.
I don't even know what that means. Let's get it going.
Let's get her going. Keep her going, baby.
Just go.
Guys, we're back. The Barkology Podcast. It's me, Scott, my buddy Greg, sitting right next to me. It's a good week. We got another week
Why is
behind
it a good
us.
week, Scott?
Well, it's not the week. Week's not over. It's Thursday, but we got a couple guests here today. We have our good friend Lindsey Mingus.
Hello.
Oh man,
Did
you know,
I do it?
we
God.
we said every time it's the stripper voice
I don't
comes
know
in
why, that's-
first. Yep,
No, reflex.
it's a reflex.
Hey.
And,
Like, are we just that socialized to be like, I gotta be sexy, I gotta
Yeah.
put on like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
stripper
Maybe.
voice.
I don't know what you're watching on
hi
TV.
guys,
There you go.
That's perfect.
better.
it's
Just
Lindsay.
It's Lindsay and her boyfriend Garnet. How you doing, man?
Hey guys.
GARNET.
I thought I'd do the pimp voice. We're doing the stripper. I was like, I'll do the pimp voice. Hey guys.
That was
I'm
good.
Garnet.
Garnet, we talked about no.
No, that's good. So we got a couple guests today. These are the second guests that we've actually had in studio, quotation marks.
AKA your Game of Thrones table.
Yeah,
That's
we
awesome.
we didn't feel like packing 4 people into my little studio / office.
We're plotting our takeover of Westeros.
Yes,
as
we are.
speak.
So we moved into my dining room, added all the leaves that I could find, and now we have about a 12-foot table, and we're hanging out. But 4 of us chilling at the table. So thanks for coming in, guys.
Thanks
Yeah.
for having us. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
cords take over the table, but it's nice space.
I know. We hooked it up. It was kind of like an
It's
impromptu,
very official.
setup.
It's
But
a good table, strong table.
You guys have the nice like arms.
Yeah.
Holding
Scott
up
was
your-
cheap and decided not to
Hey, you know it's okay.
to splurge on the boom arms for the mics for the guests.
that's all good.
You
It's
guys
all
got to
good.
be comfortable.
Yeah,
We
my
are.
chin's
Screw
on
us.
the table right now.
That's all right. drink that beer. Yeah.
All right. What do we have today, Scott?
On the agenda, let's start off by having Lindsay and Garnet introduce themselves a little bit. Just tell us a little bit about where you came from, why you're back in Rochester, where you've been, where
boy.
you're going, all that cool stuff.
How long is this podcast?
I'll cut you off if you're rambling.
Audio journal entry 1. I'll start because I'm more of the connection, I guess. So I went to high school with Leah, Scott's fiance.
Not the dog.
Not the dog Leah, human Leah. Who, it's her birthday today. So Leah, we love you. Happy birthday.
Love you,
Happy
Lee.
birthday.
So I went to high school with Leah. We played soccer and lacrosse together. That's pretty much how we met and have been best friends since maybe 8th grade.
Oh, so you knew Leah when she dressed like a boy?
Oh, yeah. No, we had a bet. Leah and I had a bet that the first person to wear makeup to school had to pay the other person $10 because we were
Nice.
both like the biggest tomboys.
So did you know this about her before?
Fun fact.
I've heard about it. We moved past it, I think.
Yes.
There's
we
days,
have.
right? There's days, yeah.
Yep.
You don't really grow out of that, though, do you?
What are you trying to say, Scott? Look at me. So yeah, Leah and I best friends for a long time, and then so that's how I know Scott.
Yes.
And, yeah.
So
What do
5
you-
years. Our relationship started 5 years
Yes.
ago, basically.
Yes. Yeah.
What do you do now?
Oh boy. Well, currently nothing.
Nice.
So Garnet and I met at Brown, so that's where I went to college. and
Awesome.
Garnet did as well. I played lacrosse there, and then let's see. I just went back and got my master's of social work. So I was 5 years out, and then went back.
But yeah, you were in the workforce beforehand, right?
Yeah, I did I did consulting and then PR, and
Nice.
then
You
I
were
was
like-
a health coach.
And you're like, I don't really like
And
this.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I really wanted to help people, and I liked therapy.
Cool.
It helped me, so I figured I could help other people.
It's awesome.
Leah as well.
And yeah.
I feel like in today's day and age, if you're not talking about stuff, you're not really, helping yourself out as best as you can.
Yeah.
For the most part.
There's a great quote, like, you can't, why do you think you can solve the problems that you created in your head from within your own head?
Good
or
luck.
something like that.
Yeah.
I paraphrased it, obviously. But yeah, you got to talk to people. You got
that's
to
where I
have
keep all my
like that
problems.
other perspective. So
Really? So
it's a plug for therapy.
You can't keep them all
Come
just
see me.
bottled in, because that's what I've been doing
Just
for like
sweep it
29
right
years.
over.
Really
now.
working great. We're just,
No,
Sprinkle some beer on top.
Guys, watch
and
out
you're
for
good.
Greg. He's just one day he's just gonna break.
No, honestly
We're
though, I
hoping.
mean that's why we were talking about this before we started recording, but that's kind of why Greg and I started the podcast. It's like a venting situation. Greg works with numbers and money, so he's fucking stressed out all the time.
Not true. The first part's true.
But it's a situation where we're kind of joking around, but it's almost like an audio journal to some degree, where you can release some of that stress you have inside and whatever. But I totally
Sometimes
agree.
you say something out loud and you're like, that just is dumb, but like I believed it in my head.
Yeah.
But when I said it,
You're like, now I don't feel just dense
Yeah.
inside with whatever's worrying me.
and there's a mic in front of you, so you're like, now someone else knows too. It's way better.
Now everyone can hear it.
Anyone.
I can't wait till my children hear this.
but most recently I was in Calgary living with Garnet because he plays professional hockey.
God, one of the few people that can say they're a professional at something in their lives.
Yeah.
We are professional podcasters.
Hey, yeah.
Can we make that claim?
Yes.
The website's up. You got it.
We have a
You guys-
website.
you-
It's on the air.
We have
Wow.
one professional saying that we're professionals. It's okay.
Exactly.
Hey, we're qualified.
You've been knighted, basically.
It happened to me. I'm doing it to you guys. It's
All right.
Cool. Okay.
Garnet, you can talk.
well, you told everything. No. Yeah. So I met Lindsay at Brown.
What a shitty institution to go to school at,
The worst, really.
Great city, Providence.
Low quality
A little-
education.
No, it's a good. We had a great time there.
Awesome.
I like Providence a lot. We lived there for a couple summers. Before that, I grew up in Maine, so New England for a long time in my life.
The
You get
lobster
that. I
state.
can tell still. I mean, you have a little bit of that Maine/Canadian border, like yesterday, like that kind of thing.
He says
I don't know
margarita.
yesterday. Yeah, I do say margarita.
There's there's a little bit of a sense in there.
but you brought that up like 2 weeks ago, and apparently I've been doing it for a while.
I didn't want to tell you. I didn't
That's all right.
know how to break
There's
it to you.
worse things. Yeah, so
You took. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, no,
You
you're
took kind of a different route. I mean, from what I understand, a lot of the guys that go into pro hockey, they're like high school phenom type things. They don't necessarily go to college. I mean, a lot do,
Yeah.
but so tell me the route from there.
So I wasn't probably as highly touted as guys who play in the NHL right now.
You get drafted out of high school.
Yeah. So when I was 18, I didn't get drafted. I wasn't noticed as much then. So right from high school, I went to prep school and I went to Phillips Andover in Massachusetts.
One of my brother's best friends went there.
Cool,
Yeah.
Scott.
Sorry, I just.
Does he have a name?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Also a great institution.
Yes.
Cool.
That was a great place. And so then right after that, I went to Brown. I didn't play juniors. Some guys played juniors. So I was a true freshman. And then
You weren't the 21-year-old freshman coming in first day, like able to
Yeah.
buy everyone alcohol. Like
Full blown
That's
man.
good.
crazy, yeah.
and then after college, I had a chance to get an AHL contract.
It's exciting.
So my goal was to play pro, and I didn't know if it was going to happen.
I like to think that right when we started dating, that's when you
it
got
just
noticed
kept
by
getting better and
scouts.
better. Yeah, it's like Lindsay almost knew
Coincidence?
the scouts or something.
Who'd you sleep with?
Do the
Sorry,
sexy
I
voice
had
again.
to.
Do the sexy.
Guys, stop.
And then, so I've been with Calgary in the organization for the last 5 years, and and then this past year we were up in Calgary, and Lindsay came out right after Christmas, New Year's time, and then we're just headed back east.
Yeah. I mean, because I remember you were living in California for a little while, though. Is that where the farm team is?
Yeah, so the minor league team's in California, and I was up and down the last 3 years.
Okay.
So like
So
nothing's
we-
really steady, right? Like I couldn't really know he was going to be somewhere at any given time. Like he would be up and down, and it was so unpredictable.
Yeah, and
So we
because
didn't-
you were in Rochester with your family for a little bit,
Yeah.
hanging out, and
Yep.
you guys were always trying to figure out how to coordinate,
Right.
like figuring out how to do this living situation when you're not really sure what's going on.
Like one time your dad was flying to a game, I think, and you either got sent down or up or something, but you weren't there when he got there. Like he flew all the way out there and then it was just like, oh, Garnet's not here.
And like, luckily, it's a
I'll go
good
home.
thing sometimes. But I've heard stories like guys are like, yeah, my girlfriend's finally flying in, and I had to make the call when she landed. Like, hey, I'm actually at the airport too, but I'm going the other way.
Yikes.
Have fun here for a week until you fly out.
Oh,
It's
jeez.
rough.
So we were pretty fortunate with that. But this past year was good, and Lindsay moved out, and now we're kind of headed back.
It's awesome.
Nice. And you guys,
Boston for the summer.
yeah, and you're moving
Yeah.
back to Boston for the summer.
Yeah.
Good spot to be, though. I mean, if you're going to live in
Yes.
Boston,
Boston summer.
don't do it in
Ew.
January. That'll be
No.
fucking terrible.
No.
That's fun, though.
Yeah.
And, do you, Lindsay, I forget, do you have
Yeah.
connections in Boston?
Yes.
Yes. And
Yeah.
remind me.
I used
so-
to live there. I lived
Yeah.
there like right after I graduated.
Yes.
and for like 2 years and worked there and lived with Ellie for a little bit.
Mhm. Another friend. She was on the podcast. If you
Yeah,
could putting
check
our
out
shout out.
episode-
Plug her. Oh, that sounded bad. Plug. There's a random plug. Sorry.
Yikes.
Good thing you can edit this thing.
No, it stays
No,
in.
it's staying.
It's free form.
Put it in the intro. Yeah, I love Boston. I did my yoga training there. So I also teach yoga.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I did my 200-hour training in Boston. I love
Cool.
Boston.
Boston's cool. I like
Yeah.
it. A bowl of spaghetti, but my brother goes to college there now at
It's
Suffolk
the
University.
worst.
Did you
For
say a bowl
driving.
of spaghetti?
Like the way, instead of like, if you think in New York City, you think like grid, like everything's
Makes sense.
90-degree angles, but Boston, it's like so old school and the streets are tiny.
No,
It's like a
that's
bowl of
because they
spaghetti.
have no brains and Boston's a dump, so they just made their streets.
Oh, Jesus. Greg, shots fired. Okay. So,
Didn't we see you play? No, you wouldn't know.
oh,
Here.
yeah, actually,
Here.
wow,
Here.
yes.
We were hammered drunk. It was an
Hammers?
AHL game.
We
and
don't
were
drink.
Playing the, I think you were playing against the Amherst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That must have been
She was there.
When you were in
in
Glens
Adirondack.
Falls.
Yeah. So
Yeah, maybe like
2014, 2015. That's
Yeah,
I was
they
gonna
were
say,
in
like,
upstate New York
4 or
for a
5
bit.
years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Look
then
at
they
that.
moved
Small
to
world.
What do you
Stockton.
know? Yeah.
What do you know?
Hey,
We saw
it was
you
fate.
before. it was fate.
Before you got
One day
big.
we're gonna bring him on the podcast. We're all gonna get together.
We're gonna have a podcast.
We knew then that this would be a thing.
I didn't plan on bringing this up, but Leah has a picture, I think, saved in her phone of when you
She does.
took
One picture?
just one picture, the only picture. But it's, I think you either took like a skate to the face,
Yes.
Garnet, or something like that.
That was in
I-
China.
In China. Okay.
China.
Trump. But yeah, tell me about that.
Yeah. So this preseason actually we went to China. Boston went as well. So we played them in 2 preseason games out there.
Sweet.
And of course, the first
Because
shift
why
of the
not?
first game in China. Yeah, I took a skate right to my cheek.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, it split open pretty good. And I mean, luckily our doctors were there and
Yeah.
they took great care of me. But yeah, I don't know why Leah has the picture on her phone.
I think
'Cause I sent it
yeah, I
to
think
her,
Lindsay
obviously.
sent it to her, but
She's a nurse. I felt
Oh,
she
right,
would
right,
appreciate
right.
it.
but
Just
so
send her gross pictures?
Yeah, like anytime there's something gross medically,
Here's
I'm like,
my
Leah,
rash.
Look at this.
I'm walking through the hospital here.
can you help me from in the United States, please? No, the reason I ask is because she showed me that picture and I have like the same scar on my face,
You
but I
do?
had like 7 stitches. But
What
yours
happened
was
to
like
you?
in lacrosse, just like a head-to-head collision,
Yeah.
basically.
But you have the cage.
I know somehow something went through,
Wow.
but it was like a perfectly clean cut.
Yeah.
I had like 7 stitches, but yours was like to the bone deep.
Do you want to put it on Barkology Podcast Instagram?
Yeah, I can send it to you if you want. Or I guess
No
Leah
one
could.
needs
That
to
makes
see
Yeah,
more sense.
Leah can just send it over. It's fine.
Yeah, so I went right to the bone and I had, I think 5 stitches on the inside and then 8 on the outside.
So muscle, like the
Yeah.
whole muscle and everything.
Yeah.
Did you lose any function in like your mouth or?
No, I got really
any-
lucky. I think if it was over a few inches more towards my ear, I think they said that's where kind of the tendons come down and the muscles, and that's what
Scary.
controls your face.
You would have had like a half droopy face.
Yeah.
what is it? Bell's palsy.
It would go from
You would've
like,
looked like
sexy to like not at all.
Oh, yeah, it's bias, of course, but
Hey, I think it's sexy.
yeah, but it was funny. I was laying there, and the doctors were, because I knew them too, so they kept looking at me, and they're like, "It looks great. You're fine." And then I was like, a couple weeks later, I was like, "Whew, thank God it was so easy." And they're like, "Oh, we were lying the entire time. We were really worried." I was like, "What?"
Thanks a lot, guys.
Now I have zero faith.
Maybe wait a couple more weeks until you tell me that.
You're like, well, it looks good now, but I don't trust you at all.
Please don't let it happen
Exactly, yeah.
again.
Don't lie to me anymore. All right, cool. So great introductions. Lindsay, Garnet, thanks for coming in, sitting at the Game of Thrones table. Greg and I, we try to do it every week, but we haven't necessarily done it every week.
What do you want from me, Scott?
Highs and lows.
Oh, highs and lows.
Do you got anything, Greg?
No.
Nothing?
Yeah. Well, so we went this weekend to my parents' lake house, which they just bought. It's got a lot of work. I actually laughed. My parents and my aunt bought a place right next door to each other,
Oh yeah.
and I actually just laughed in their faces. It was I felt kind of mean after.
Where?
but,
What lake?
Chautauqua.
Oh,
just
yeah.
south of Buffalo.
Western New York. It's a beautiful place in the summer.
So it's Western New York, not upstate New York.
Yeah, this is Western New York.
Well, it depends on who you're talking to, because
Exactly.
I grew up in Syracuse, and that's that's Central. We used to call ourselves Central.
Yeah.
Really?
But technically, I think we're all upstate New York.
That's
past
what
all
I
Wrong.
Yeah.
You should get a shirt to match Lindsay's. Then,
I have an
because-
upstate New York shirt. My uncle like got so mad. He's like, "We're not up. You're not upstate. You're Western." And I was
Yeah.
like, but he lives in New York City, and so I feel like it should be to New York City. Anything above themselves is upstate.
Yeah,
and like
so-
they're the center of the universe.
Well, that's not true. But no, this is Western
Fact
New
check
York.
that.
We're just gonna lay that down for the record, and like the lake where they're
The
at.
upstate sounds way cooler, so I got to keep going with that.
Anyways, so
Jeez.
went to the lake, and I laughed at my parents and my aunt's face, and just laughed at how much work they had to do. I kind of
Sounds
pushed
mean,
my
Greg.
parents into buying this lake house because, well, they told me they were going to spend their inheritance or my inheritance, and I said, well, let's spend it on stuff that I can inherit, like a house. But they have so much work.
Really?
It's going to be really nice.
Are they gonna like knock down the structure that's there, or is there not even like? Are you
No,
building?
they're tearing walls down and doing the kitchens, floors, baths, like
Well,
everything.
well, let me interject a little bit. I mean,
What do you want?
Greg's dad worked at UPS for years and years and years. Fucking killed it. And now he's retired, and he's
Yeah, super retired.
and he's living the life, which is awesome. But they bought a place next to your aunt's. Super cool spot right on the lake. One of the is Chautauqua one of the Finger Lakes?
No.
Okay. Either way, they're just gutting the whole place, right?
Basically.
Just gonna make it cool. So not knocking anything down, but
But-
should be sweet.
Anyways, brought the dog, Oliver. He loved it. Almost ate a fish. But luckily, I had him on the leash still when he jumped in the lake and was able to yank him back. You know, there's
That's a good
The
way
weird
to
thing
drown
about-
a dog, Greg.
I had it under control, Scott.
All right, I'll put a leash on you the next time you start swimming.
Oh, yeah?
yeah, see
Will
what
ya?
happens.
You sicko. But anyways, yeah, it was like this giant. You know, there's always the weirdest thing about lakes is there is always a dead fish.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Every time
ever.
I've
Every
been
single time.
to the
Every
lake,
single
there's a
like
dead
there's
fish.
a dead fish.
I've
Why?
seen a dead
Lake
deer
life.
floating in the lake.
Why?
I know. Oh yeah,
dead deer?
especially in the Finger Lakes. Like
Yeah.
you got your family's spot is on Canandaigua,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
So all glacier formed, but at certain parts of the lake where it's deeper, there's very very vertical cliffs where
Yeah.
it's
In
typically
lakes?
yes
I wasn't listening to you. Sorry. Inside of a lake, there's a cliff.
on the sides of the lake because it was a glacier that formed them.
I got
So
you now.
There's dead.
I was
there's
under the
deer
water.
carcasses because they
Scuba
just.
diving.
What are you talking about? But they fall off the edge of the cliffs, die, and that's why you see them.
Got it. Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Oh, I always thought it was like a car hit it, and
Oh man,
then it went
tumbled.
down the cliff, and
Yeah.
then yeah.
I mean,
well, the
it-
road
Who
comes pretty
knows?
close in Canandaigua. Like,
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
good-
It could be.
could
That could be a.
I didn't think it was
very
like I'm
logical
gonna go.
reason.
I mean, I might have went swimming
Or
too with
Oliver
a leash
killed it
on.
and
I don't
dragged it
know.
into the-
yeah. So Greg had a leash on and he
Oliver
drowned
and
it.
the, in the
drowned
deer
the whole
hopped in
thing
together.
Yes.
and
In
went
my
for a little-
spare time, I like to leash deer and drown them in lakes.
we should cut that.
Your words, not mine.
man.
I'm gonna cut. No, I'm
That
gonna
was
cut.
Greg. That was Greg.
I'm gonna cut that out and
But-
put it right on the page.
In fun news, though, it's not raining.
That wasn't fun news.
It's not raining.
It's
that's
not
true.
raining. It's rained all of May, in all of April.
Oh.
This is the first sunny day we've had. You could almost say it's been raining cats and dogs.
Oh God, you're such a homo.
I went outside the other day and stepped in a poodle.
Oh my God.
winning a whole week to save
He's been rehearsing this all week, probably all month. He didn't have a chance the last couple episodes.
I appreciate it.
All right, so I'm gonna tell you, I don't really have a high or a low.
Joke.
Garnet coming in.
Garnet likes puns.
I liked it.
I don't really have a high or low, but I had an interesting interaction, and it wasn't
boy.
very.
With a drug?
No. I was driving. It was this morning actually, and I was driving close to my house. And Lindsay, you know where Mercy High School is?
Yes,
it's right
I
around
do.
the corner.
Yeah.
It's a private all-girls
Oh, boy.
school.
Super slutty.
Maybe
I'm
it is,
trying
maybe
to-
it isn't. But
Where is this going?
but I drove by and I was just swinging back by my house, and I saw a guy, an older guy, probably like 65, 70. He was taking a piss in a bush right in front of the school. So I think I witnessed a sex offender or a guy become a sex offender as I was driving by, because as I was driving by, a cop went by me and just lit his lights up. And the guy was just
You
pissing
didn't
in the
stick
bush.
around to like just see what was
I
going
don't
to
know.
happen.
I just assumed the guy's life is over now. But I thought it was hilarious. I think there's a bus stop nearby, so I think he was just like,
Oh, God.
I got to take a piss. He didn't look like a bum. He's just like,
just
picked the
a
wrong
normal
bush.
guy.
yeah, pick the wrong bush, man.
We've all been there.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Yeah, but isn't Ellison Park like right across the street?
You
kinda?
could have. Yeah.
Wait, Mercy's the one right down the road from you?
Yeah.
It's an easy mistake.
It's
But yeah.
interesting, Scott.
It was
that
that's
is an interesting
that's my high
interaction.
and low. That's my high and low.
Both a high and a low.
I laughed out loud for the first time in a few days. I thought it was funny. All right, so moving on, I wanted to bring up, actually, Greg showed this to me, but it's an article that he found. I don't know what RMNB is.
I've never heard of that.
Russian machine never breaks.
This is a Russian propaganda website.
Hopefully.
Title of the article, though, is Meet the 5 Puppies Working for NHL Teams. And they are some of the cutest puppies ever. But, Garnet, I wanted to ask you, do you personally know any of these puppies?
No, I've never met any of them.
But we would
But
like
would
to
like
play
to,
for one of
yeah.
those
Oh.
teams.
Barclay,
probably
St.
cut that as well.
St. Louis Blues. Who? Let's see if we have a. Do we have a Calgary guy?
Some bids.
No, there's no Calgary dog.
I think you would know, Scott.
I think I would have met him. No,
What do you mean? Like, what do they do for work?
I don't know. We got a couple of videos. I don't know if you guys can hear this.
I've seen the
What don't they do for work?
Barclay.
They
Is that
just
the,
make
the Blues
everybody
dog?
happier.
This dog is
The therapy
just.
dog, obviously.
Oh my
Linz.
gosh.
Yeah, he's chasing some pucks. He's checking. You guys want to go play some puck?
He's helping them with their stick skills.
He's like on the. He's
Oh, that's like
in the drills.
Panarin, the guy on
Yeah.
Columbus. He always posts
check
Instagram
that out.
with his dog, and he's always stick handling around his dog.
Okay.
His dog's like trying to get the ball, and he's trying to keep it away from him.
Yeah, he's also
He's
ridiculously
Really
good. So
Greg, does that audio come through?
I have no idea.
All right. Who is it? Sorry. Do you have any idea what it
yeah,
is?
Panarin.
How do you spell that?
We'll just type in a couple P's and A's are PNA.
good. Couple P's.
Panarin.
It's
Yeah,
definitely not
RIN.
PP.
Panarin.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Top guy.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, okay. So where's he from?
Is he
Is
Czech
he
or
Chechen?
I think he's Russian.
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 Chechnya is Russian, right? I
Yeah,
don't
it is now.
know.
Right.
Now that you said it.
Yeah, do that one. Yeah, that one right there.
So
What kind
you're
of
going to have to talk through this video.
What kind of dog is this?
There we go.
That's a good question. But so we just stick handles around
talking
his
Russian.
dog, and the dog is chasing it, but just can't get it. And then he banks it off the wall, gets it back again, toe drags the dog.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I took the audio away from you guys, but now
Garnet,
it's
maybe you
coming
can
through the
train
episode.
Finn to do that, and he can help you.
What kind of
I
dog
just-
is that?
I don't know. I think I would just hit Finn. Like, I don't,
He would be just so concussed. all
yeah,
the time.
He's chilling
Finn
in
would
like
have
his
the
bedroom
ball, and I would
carpet.
just be hitting him by accident. Like it would.
This is actually kind of badass.
Yeah, he's very good. Oh yeah, he's definitely quite foreign. That's sick though. That's cool, man. He's got a lot of pictures of people with shirts off. He looks pretty crazy, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Garnet's like, whatever, I fuck him up.
Yeah, if you keep scrolling down, you'll see where Columbus. Oh, up just 2. That billboard there. He's no, just to the right. I don't know what that one is.
Jesus, man.
that one's
Oh,
in
this
Russian.
billboard.
Or
Here we
in
go.
English.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he
That
can
one,
speak
Garnet?
Russian.
Yeah,
Stick with Columbus, enjoy free highway.
for
That's
life.
insane.
Yeah, so they offered him free vodka for life if he signs back with Columbus.
That's absurd.
Well, that's a cool.
So I guess we'll find out in July. By
Yeah,
July,
who knows,
we'll
man?
know.
Who
Mark your
knows?
calendars.
That's wild.
Nothing like that happened in Calgary. I haven't been offered anything.
That's wild. That's cool though, man. Yeah, I don't think there's a Calgary dog in here.
Oh.
I know they'll
Oh, rookie.
Ottawa little
Oh
lab.
my God.
Check this article out, folks.
cute.
And the Islanders. Who cares about the Islanders? Jesus, I'm from New York. All right, cool.
Western New York.
So I also want to hit Western New York. It's different. I also wanted to talk to you guys about you guys just adopted a dog, right?
We did, yes.
Did.
And Finn,
Yes.
Finn, Finn.
love the name. Love the name. How's it been? Did you adopt him in Calgary?
He is Canadian.
Yeah, he's full.
Oh, he's a Canadian, eh?
Canadian
Full
dog,
blown
eh?
Canadian. And it was very easy getting him over the border. Like, weirdly easy. The lady was
mean-
like, is he up to date on all of his shots? We're like,
Which
"Yep."
he is, yeah.
Did they like
Okay.
check IDs for dogs going over the border there?
Well, they check their papers. Typically, they do.
They do, eh?
She did.
Going, we were talking about it the other night though. Like going from the U.S. to Canada, like what? Yeah.
No,
go-
I went-
Garnet's like worried he's going to get in trouble with the government.
no. Well,
They
the
listen to
shots were
everything.
good. But yeah, going from like
Lied.
U.S. to Canada, Canada to U.S. is like a totally different story. Like coming back, it's just different. Sometimes they check your papers like crazy, and other times they just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
I've only been in
interesting.
Canada by fake IDs. That's about it. So I wouldn't know.
Honestly, I like,
Toronto?
why didn't we go more? Like, we're right there, and drinking age is much lower.
I grew up in Orchard Park. I could
Again,
be
you were right there.
I could be over the border in like 25 minutes. Yeah.
Just go over there, grab some beers, come back.
It's a lot of hassle.
It's true. You
I love
wait like
Canada
a-
though. Played hockey there and stuff, and it's a good time.
Greg used to play hockey. He obviously sucked.
I mean, I was going pro until I blew my ACL out. Not it's very far
Not
from
a
it.
big deal.
Okay, so you smuggled the dog over the border.
So yeah,
In plain view, of course.
Yes.
Well, we had wanted to get one for a long time, and then obviously not until I was full time there with Garnet did it make sense because he can't.
Oh, I would
his
never have been able to do it
lifestyle-
alone.
Yeah, couldn't. You travel all the time, and
Yeah, it wouldn't have
start
been
ever
fair.
around.
Me or the dog.
Yeah.
But we had a great experience actually getting him in Calgary.
Yeah.
They had a great rescue foundation there. That
Well, we looked at like all of them. Like I would refresh them probably 5 times a day. Every website, like every
And there's a
humane
lot, like,
society
I
in
believe
like
ya.
100-mile radius
the
of
tabs
Calgary.
are just full on the screen.
And I was just like, really wanted a dog. And
You,
we
you were
saw
sucked in for a little
Finn.
while.
oh,
His name was Enzo.
I know. I still
Previously
like Enzo.
Enzo.
So he's Italian?
Yes.
Italian Canadian.
Yes, obviously.
Italian
It's very
Canadian.
common.
Frequent up there. Yeah.
And we think he's Lab Shepherd, maybe a little border collie, but we just learned, I don't know if you guys know, but that a dog, like in one litter, there can be multiple fathers.
Yes.
So
Oh, I didn't
yeah.
know. So you
Because
can
I
get
kept
like
being
Yes, you just learned that, or yes.
No, I knew that.
Oh, I just learned that.
common
You can be like multiple. You can be
Yeah.
inseminated
Yes.
multiple times
Yes.
in one heat.
Yes.
Oh,
So
wow.
I thought that because Finn's siblings looked a certain way, that must mean he's the same breeds. But my friend was saying, no, that's not the case. Like his siblings could have a different father, so they could be totally different mixes than him. Which is like, then how do you know? We want to do a DNA test.
You
I
have
guess.
to. I mean, at that
Bottom
point, who
line.
knows? I mean, if you got a slutty mom dog going
Right.
through heat, who knows?
Finn's mom was probably slutty.
He's getting packed all day.
stripper dog.
Sorry.
She
Stripper
was the
dog.
stripper. The dog stripper.
Let me bring it back. Getting a little
Come
R-rated.
on. Cut this guy off.
Okay, so you got Finn. Not sure what breed he is, but you guys are in the process. This has got to be tough too. You're in the process of moving, so
He flew
Yeah.
on an airplane.
How was that?
We threw him in the air.
He
just
wasn't
flew.
He wasn't with us. Like Like Garnet's doctor said he could write him a note to make him like an emotional support dog.
Which we might need, but that's another story. It's a whole nother podcast.
He might need our support. He needs an emotional support dog. We should get him an emotional support dog.
I'll sign the papers for that.
Yeah, it was smooth actually.
Yeah,
We
so
just put him
from
in his crate and he chilled under the plane.
Calgary to Toronto, a nice 3.5, 4-hour flight.
He was great.
Wait, so do they have like a heated pressurized cabin? That's a stupid question. They would die if they didn't.
Definitely
They
pressurized.
just taped him to the top
I'm
of the
not
plane.
sure how like
Came out great. Hair.
Just hanging out.
they strap him down up there. Not sure how warm it is down there.
I know. I wondered about that. He couldn't really tell us, so we really have
We
no
tried
way
to
of
ask
knowing.
him.
still.
He doesn't speak
doesn't wanna
French
talk about
or
it.
French Italian. French
Italian,
Italian
Canadian.
Canadian English.
Oh,
Do you
yeah,
ever
right,
think
French.
sometimes, like if you adopt a dog, does it speak a different language?
Like if you adopted a dog from like China.
Yeah.
I don't, Greg. I
No,
don't
but
think
like,
so.
you know, dogs can be trained in German
There you go.
and then they only like know.
I don't think they can differentiate language though.
Really?
They're just hearing words.
Somebody tell us if we're right or wrong.
Yeah.
Let's get
Now
a
would be a
dog
great time.
language expert on the podcast.
Call in right now if you know. We
So-
won't be together when you do.
585.
So.
Like, can I ever say my dog's bilingual?
If you're bilingual, I think.
Well, I mean, you can just I think they learn certain commands, like 150 commands, whatever it is. So if you utilize an English word or a French word or whatever it is, if you say sit, that's English. If you say, does anybody know French?
There we go. I was waiting for it. No, I have no idea.
I don't know French, but I think you can utilize words from any language for a specific command, and they wouldn't know the difference. They just are doing what they're told.
So I should just like switch up languages for every
Yeah.
command, and then I could have like
Yeah.
I
my
think so.
dog speaks multiple languages.
Yeah.
Prove it.
Speaks
if I'm
45
wrong.
languages.
Yeah. You just say sit in 10 different languages.
Yeah.
He's bilingual.
Perfect. Doing it.
Okay.
Danke.
Sorry.
So now, because you guys brought him, so he's hanging out at your parents' house.
Yes. Yep.
And-
He is.
And how's that been though with the travel, the adoption? You guys have had him for a couple months.
The adoption was great.
It happened very quickly. We were not really quite prepared. Like we sent in the application and we're like, all right, this will take like a couple days. That day, like I'm not even 6 hours later, the foster parents were like, we think you're great. Want to meet him? We were like, oh my God, this is happening.
Awesome.
And we were like still kind of deciding between two dogs. I was like, let's email these people too. And by the time I wrote the other email, they had already responded.
So
Holy
like,
cow.
wow,
And we're like,
Wow.
looks like this is our dog.
But they
then when
actually
we-
let us. So did you adopt Leah, Scott?
Kind of a weird story. Kind of a weird story. What are you laughing at?
Leah.
Yeah, we've already covered it. We've covered it. My
Yeah.
fiance and my dog have the same name. All right. Thanks, Garnet. Thanks for bringing that to light again. You know what?
Well, we were just trying to explain it to my dad the other night, and like he wasn't really getting it.
So it was more or less like a gift from one of my crazy ex-girlfriends kind of situation. I like wanted a
Whoa,
dog.
that makes it even more crazy.
Strange. Yeah,
But,
right?
yeah.
And well, so we got the dog in Buffalo area, Silver Creek, which is kind of on the reservation in Buffalo.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of
Kind of.
it's the
It is.
reservation. But got the dog. I wanted a dog, but I would
How
never
did you find her? Was she like where was it
on the
posted?
internet.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like,
you know.
like Ellie got Harry on eBay.
No, we talked about that. Not on eBay.
Yeah.
That's a thing again, people. But found her on the internet. My ex-girlfriend was like, "I'm gonna pay for it." It was like a gift. I wanted a dog, but I would never buy one. It was when I was in college, still my senior year.
Yeah.
And then got the dog, and it was actually named Lola, and I renamed it Leah before I even knew that I was gonna be engaged to Leah. So
is crazy.
Weird situation, but she was like
It was
$100.
meant to be.
Yeah. So that's how I got her.
Aw.
She's a
And
cutie.
she's pure lab.
No, lab pit bull mix.
Oh.
Yeah.
I would never have known.
She
She
looks
looks
like a lab.
very lab.
Looks like a lab. But
Yeah.
actually, a funny story, when I was driving home, I was on the thruway going through like an Easy Pass exit, and I had the dog in my lap, you know, just kind of like petting the dog, doing your thing when you're coming home. And we had a huge line of cars, and I wasn't paying attention. I had a standard car, and I just was like kind of fucking with the pedals and just drove into the car in front of me. Yeah, gotten into minor fender bender. They didn't care. I didn't care. But I was like, I got a puppy. I like held it up, and they like totally understood. It was so ridiculous.
We get it.
They can get you out of a lot of
The
things.
puppy was driving.
It was-
It wasn't me.
I have a puppy on board. Sorry. Okay.
It's
All
funny.
right.
It's almost like the time you backed my van into my car
Yeah, I did that.
Yep.
I did that. Greg used to own a painting company, or
back in college.
back in the day.
Wow.
But I was driving his car. I was going to help him out, do some work.
No,
or driving
he
your
was
van.
driving my paint van, and then backed my paint van into my car after
Double.
repeatedly honking and telling him to stop. He just kept going into my car.
So there, you can't see through the rear view mirror, right? So
Paint's in the way, of course.
everything. There's so much paint, man. And I'm throwing it in reverse, and I'm using the mirrors, and the right mirror, I'm just pulling through his bushes. So I'm like, shit, I'm fucking up his van. And he starts honking his horn, and I think he's honking the horn because I'm
'Cause you're
going
in
through
the
the bushes. But he just stopped at the end of the driveway in his car.
Because a car was coming.
Yeah, so
my
I ran into his car and almost pushed him into traffic, but fucked up your license
My
plate.
van and my car at the
License
same time.
plates, man, who cares? There's no real damage.
It's all right. I
Um,
spilled a gallon of paint in the back of that car.
Oh,
Right on the seat. Yeah.
So, what's the thought on the dog? I know he's adjusting, being in a new home.
Well, Scott, you met him the other night.
Oh, what?
He's a cutie.
What was
I didn't
your
get to meet him?
first
No,
interpretation? No, he barks. He's like, he tried to eat Scott.
He didn't try to eat me, but he likes to show you who's boss, kind of at when you come in.
Yes.
I think he's anxious.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit of an anxiety thing, I think.
We're
But
going to get him some therapy.
dude, hey, it works for.
Or get him a podcast, either one.
Well, let him talk into the mic.
Invent.
Whatever works.
No, he's a really good dog. He's, I don't, like, how would you describe his personality?
When he listens, great.
He's goofy.
He's pretty curious.
Yeah,
That's
very
what-
curious.
that's what I would
His head's
say.
kind of
Yeah.
buried a lot, smelling stuff.
Cool.
But anxious.
But anxious.
He wants what I took from it. He wants to know what's going on.
Yeah,
like
oh,
you can tell he's very smart, but at the same time probably a little bit stubborn, curious, trying to figure out what's going on. But like you could call his name and he's like,
Oh.
well, I want to check
the
this
worst.
out.
Let
Yeah.
me just
So
smell this bush first.
Like he'll look at you and be like, I hear you, but nah.
But this is over here, and it looks great. Like, I'll be there in a sec.
okay, so you're gonna try to get a little
He's a good
doggy
boy,
therapy.
but he needs some
He's a cutie
training.
too. Good looking dog.
He's a good looking
Yeah.
boy.
Big paws.
Yeah. Big paws.
Yo.
Big, you know what that means.
You know what they say about big paws.
Hold on.
Big snowshoes.
What kind of dog is it?
We think lab shepherd.
Oh, that's right. We don't know.
Yeah.
He looks kind of
But
like
he looks. It's weird. He kind of looks like lab, but then you see his body is more shepherd. Like he's got that long, lean shepherd look.
he definitely looks like a little German Shepherd in it.
Yeah.
Like his paws are
His
the
paws
brown.
are brown.
Like he's longer and leaner. Cutie pie.
6 months
So
old,
cute.
and
Yeah.
he's like 50 pounds right now.
Yeah.
He's young.
So we hope he grows a bit more.
He's a youngin.
Trust me, no, you don't. I've got
Wait,
an
so-
80-pound golden, and he is a handful.
And he's kind of like a redder color, right, Greg? Or were you guys looking
Almost
at?
pure white.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yep.
Very white.
Very white.
Never mind. Never
Where'd
mind.
you hear
Sorry.
that?
Well, wait, because never mind.
Very
Wanted
red.
to hear.
All right. Never mind.
But I do
It's
like
done.
Mostly one color, right?
But I do like the story that he almost, or you think he may have inseminated. What was it? An Irish setter?
yeah.
Oh yeah, they're red. So
Yep.
the puppies might
So
be
the
red.
puppies
Yep.
The offspring.
would be like gingers.
We don't talk about that.
devil
We don't talk
devil
about
babies.
that. But no, like I was saying, so he's 80 pounds. My girlfriend's what, like 100?
She
Buck
can't
10 if she's soaking wet.
hold him.
So he wins on a leash like every time.
Oh,
like
God.
she can't even walk
Oh
him.
God.
We did recently get him lessons, like training
Yeah.
or whatever.
Has that helped?
We haven't started.
Oh,
we
but-
paid for
yeah.
it.
Oh, yeah.
So you did.
we
took the
got
first
him.
step.
We paid for
But
lessons.
that's
We
the
haven't done it
problem.
yet.
Like I'm getting to the point where I can hardly hold
Right.
Finn, and it's like and he's aggressive. Like it could be bad.
He just drags her down the street. It's
Oh
actually
my
hilarious
gosh.
to
What
watch.
does he chase? Like does he
Oh,
just?
nothing really. So he's really kind of dumb. Like he's smart, but he's dumb. He has no instincts.
Oh.
Like there'll be a rabbit like 5 feet away.
Yeah.
He won't even notice it. If it just sits still, he's like a T-Rex. So if it just sits still, it doesn't notice. He doesn't even see him.
He can't see you
That
if you
motion
sit still.
sensor
Right?
hasn't gone off.
Just nothing. But yeah, he likes to chase
God.
garbage.
What's
the
his
other day?
personality like?
The other day, he had a chicken wing bone. He tried. He like picked it up and just lockjawed me real hard, and then bit my hand really hard when I tried to get it. I was not happy with him.
No,
He's a bad boy.
I would not.
I would have
be.
kicked him straight in the dick.
What's he like,
Scott's
personality
training
wise?
philosophy.
Well,
yeah, like 3 words to describe his
big
personality.
booty, Very stubborn, but very loving.
Oh, he sounds like a good boy.
Does
He's
he
a very
cuddle?
good boy. Oh,
Is
loves
he
cuddle.
cuddler?
Yeah, see,
He's
Finn's
not-
just not an ounce of cuddle in his body.
Yeah, he is not happy. Not happy unless
So will
he's
he
being
just
touched.
jump up on you like
Oh,
if
right
you're
on your
sitting
lap.
there?
Yeah, all the time, which is nice.
That's so nice.
Except when you're trying to be alone.
Right, yeah.
At it-
When you don't want that. Finn's like a Velcro dog, but not in the sense that he like wants to be on you, more in the sense that he just like you have to be in his like vision. Like if I like close the door and I'm just in the room without
Yeah.
him, he freaks out.
He's the same
He's a
thing.
bubble dog. Like he needs
Yeah.
to be in the bubble, and like
Right.
when you call him, he's like comes right to you and like touches your bubble and then runs away again.
Yeah.
Right.
It needs that.
He's
Yeah.
like, I checked in. I'll see you later.
See,
Yeah.
Oliver loves to be in your bubble so much so
Just
that you
right in it.
can't even shower without him jumping into it with you. And that's happened.
That's rough.
That's too
You're like,
funny.
oh, I'm in the bathroom. I'm taking a poop. Can you
my
please
God.
go away?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
It's all good. I wanted to do. I was telling Lee I didn't plan on bringing this up, but
Okay.
Utley
Yeah.
got his balls chopped off real young.
Yeah.
The most feminine dog that you've ever seen in your life. You saw him. He just kind of he wants you to touch him, pet him, hang out. He's overweight to some degree. But the other day I got done with a run and I came home and I was just doing some like sit-ups on the carpet.
Yeah.
And Utley, I don't know if it was like my pheromones or like something coming off of me. He was
No.
5 feet away from me, humping the air. And it's the first time I've ever seen him hump anything.
Wait. What? But
Like-
there was
like-
nothing there.
There's nothing there.
So-
So it was almost like he was like something. It was like he was trying to fuck me, but from like 10
Wow.
feet away, 5 feet away. It was very strange.
Did he look you in the eye?
You staring right at me.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Stole my soul right from my body, man.
That would be unnerving.
It was weird, but I've never
that.
seen him hump anything. His body. It was like he couldn't control his body. He just started
Was he
humping
having
the
a
air.
seizure?
No
So
seizure.
a little bit like that guy peeing in the bushes. Think about it.
In what way? I'm not making that connection.
They were just really
Think
good
about it.
sit-ups. I was like, how do you do those sit-ups?
Garnet's like, let me know.
How
No.
do you do your
I'll show Lindsay later. Sorry.
Ooh.
All right, Greg, you want to get into the stories?
Yes.
All right, so
Who's going first? What
You
story
are.
do you have?
I
am. I should probably go before I get any more of a buzz on.
Yes.
And I won't be able to read words.
So the way this works is you guys can interject at any point if you have questions about the stories because they are written relatively poorly, and we haven't read them beforehand.
And I
So- I
love
can't
it.
read to begin with.
And Greg has Greg can he can read, but public speak reading.
No. So I have a straight phobia of
Speakery.
reading out loud.
Wow.
A lot of people
Yeah.
do.
I don't know if that's in the DSM, but
I don't know what that means.
Public speaking.
maybe it should be.
Is public speaking-
No, yeah.
I mean,
like
that's
a
kind- that-
selective mutism.
I
like
can,
you just
I can public speak
Yeah.
easy.
Oh.
I can get
so
up on
it's just
stage
not
and
reading.
Just
present to
reading.
So
other
if it's
people.
just in your head, you're fine.
Yeah, he can read.
That's just a reading thing.
It's debatable. There. All right. So my story this week is about cigarette dogs.
Whoa.
Okay.
What is
I'm
that?
intrigued.
So, yep. So Great War. Okay, so I guess so. Life in the trenches during the Great War was hard, dangerous, and very stressful. Cigarette smoking helped provide some relief for many soldiers. Cigarettes were found to be a more convenient form of tobacco under wartime conditions. So the pack was easy to carry, and the cigarettes didn't get soggy like a cigar or constantly go out like a pipe of tobacco, and it could be snuffed on a moment's notice and saved for later.
I just want to say something real quick. The picture we have from the article, it says YMCA cigarette dog.
We're going to get there, Scott.
Interesting.
Okay, sorry.
You're
sorry.
working out and you need a cigarette.
I don't know. Yeah.
So in the U.S., cigarette smoking was generally looked upon with disdain. However, no, it wasn't
Really?
back then. What does disdain mean? Am I getting this
Didn't
word
like
wrong?
it. I don't know. Can you
That's
read?
not true. People love cigarettes back then. This article
Yeah,
makes me
Continue.
want a cigarette.
Everybody smoked.
read.
Some crazy
however-
propaganda that you're selling cigarettes right now.
Keep reading.
However, with the advent of war, attitudes towards cigarettes changed as many people came to view them as a means of offering a respite
World
from
War
the
One.
horrors of battle.
World War One. So maybe
Wow.
World War One. What? 1917.
Yeah, about
So is that? I mean, around then.
that's- yeah.
But why?
Yeah.
Maybe we don't know what cigarette. I mean, was tobacco new? I mean,
I
was
feel
that
like that was like the heyday of
ripping
or
darts?
started to be. Maybe it started.
I don't, but it could be.
Because like 50s was like when everybody was smoking.
Everybody-
right?
oh,
yeah, like
whiskey-
they were smoking,
whiskey and cigarettes
pregnant
all
women
day.
were smoking.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
But
yeah.
maybe back then it was kind of like they didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
Like smoking cigarettes. All right, continue, Greg.
Anyways,
Sorry.
doctors even considered a steady supply of cigarettes as essential to maintain calm during heavy raids and times of no action.
Wow.
Interesting.
So both getting your ass
Jeez.
shot at,
Yeah, not only do you go to war, but you come home with lung cancer.
So the two extremes, and then probably when it was like medium action too, they were like not a bad
Let's
time.
just smoke a pack of cigs.
Like I said, this article is making me crave. It was even written in a journal of the American Medical Association that cigarettes help soldiers at the front deal with the strain and help previous nervous irritations. Okay.
Wow.
So, yeah, great.
So it was the Xanax of World War One,
Xannies.
basically.
So groups that once opposed the cigarettes became active and distributing free smokes to soldiers. Okay. The Salvation Army, the American Red Cross, and the YMCA helped support the demand for the immoral
That's
cigarette.
crazy.
I know it doesn't seem like that
That is
would be
crazy.
the main supporters.
The American Red Cross sending cigs over to
Support our troops.
Wow.
So yes, so they're reading ahead, everyone. Getting cigarettes to the men in the trenches was risky, so small dogs were trained to deliver them. They were faster than men and smaller targets than when crossing enemy lines.
Shoot them
enemy
through
fire.
like a little
Wow.
snake hole or like rodent hole. Just
Right.
send these little wiener dogs through there with packs of cigarettes on them.
strapped to their
Fuck
back.
yeah, man.
Just like all war dogs, cigarette dogs were heroes. They performed their job well, and many were injured and killed during doing so. I was making it dramatic. The tobacco and the friendship of the dogs provided helped thousands of soldiers during a brutal and difficult time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who shoots a cigarette dog? Like,
Yeah. What kind of
I don't know.
person?
maybe it's stray bullet, but like, whew.
I know. I don't know, man. What if you're fiending for a ciggy? What if the Red Cross is
Right,
like, you
you
need a
wanna
cigarette
intercept
because
them.
you're anxious. There's about to be bombs coming in. You shoot it.
steal the cigarettes and you're.
You got
I
it.
mean, the other
So they were
thing-
small dogs.
Yeah, I mean, the
don't know.
picture's
What
got
is
like
it?
a
So
little.
the picture
It
looks
looks
like
kinda
kind of
like-
like a French bulldog or something.
Yeah, that's
but,
what it
like-
looks like. He looks like he's 100 years old.
So do you think they were also like the dachshunds? You know, like wiener dogs?
My
That's what
guess
I
is-
pictured him
is they
as.
were
Like
Well, I
just-
mean,
little-
they're close to the ground.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I was thinking. Like
My
little
guess is
tiny
they're
legs.
just sending anything over,
Anything.
strapping supplies to any dog's back and sending them over.
Well, that was 100 years ago, guys. That's
Wow, that is so
how
cool.
primitive we were.
I never knew that.
I'm gonna strap a couple smokes to Oliver's back, send them over to your house, Scott.
You know what's crazy though? He would die within the first 10 minutes you send him out.
You think so?
Absolutely get hit by a car.
No, he's smart.
They're so domesticated these days that
Right.
you wouldn't make it anywhere.
We were just talking to my grandfather about when he was growing up with dogs and how there were no leash laws, and his dog would go for like these benders where like the dog would go and disappear for like 2 to 3 days with like its pack, and then it would come back just like looked
Sleep
like it
for
had
2
gone
days.
like through like a war zone. It was just all matted and burrs and like dirty, and then would just sleep
Yeah,
it off for
that's
like a
so
couple
wild.
days.
My mom's dog named Shotzi. Don't know where they
Shotzi.
came up with that. Wasn't even her dog. Just kind of strolled in the house one day and they fed it, so it stayed. But it would disappear for like weeks on end and then come back.
That's
The same
wild.
owner, like
Same.
down the road, thought the same thing.
Yeah, right. He
100%.
was living a double life.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna go back. To
I have the second family. They have no idea. They make me carry cigarettes, but it's fine.
Oh man.
All right, so my
Oh,
story.
That's a good-looking dog.
Let me see that dog. All right. All right, so my dog is about Rajah, and you guys can help me out.
Don't read the title. You do it every time it ruins the story.
This one's not. Well, work's calling me. I'm working. Rajah. So what is Methven?
Which is the name of the tiger in Aladdin.
Methven?
No, Rajah.
Oh. So I think because I looked a little bit into the article, I think Methven is somewhere in New Zealand.
Okay.
So Rajah, Methven's wonder dog. We'll find out, Greg, won't we? Rajah became famous in history as Methven's unofficial police dog in the 1930s and possibly the first police dog in New Zealand. I read the first sentence, Greg. Looks a little bit like a German Shepherd, kind of like a
Belgian Malinois.
Yeah, we've had a few different stories about those dogs. Although unofficial, Rajah became something of a legend in New Zealand as a police dog who helped solve crimes. The German Shepherd was only 6 weeks old when his owner, Constable John Robertson, and his son Ian began training him using a search and find method. Okay, so kind of like search and find dog. Soon Rajah was able to understand 52 commands and had a remarkable ability to locate items. Sweet. He assisted Robertson in his duties and was very perceptive at finding concealed objects. So he's kind of like a
So what kind of like concealed? We're talking drugs,
all sorts of
weapons?
contraband, man. Primarily cocaine, I'm guessing.
What are we talking about?
We'll
here?
see. We'll see. On occasions, he was also used to help track offenders and find remains. So he seems like he's just like the boss dog.
Yeah.
It is said Rajah only failed once when he was used to help locate a missing woman. The police believed the woman was a victim of foul play and her body was dumped along the railway line that was under construction, so it was almost built. Robertson and Rajah spent a week searching without success. Many years later, it was discovered why Rajah could not find the body when a flood in the area took out one of the bridge pillars, exposing the remains of the missing women embedded in concrete.
Bum, bum, bum. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Thanks, Greg. When Rajah was not assisting Robertson with police work, he would entertain people around New Zealand with his talents. So he was kind of showing off his smarts. When he died in 1932, Hollywood was interested in replacing the film star with... Oh, wait. So I have a blank. Let's see if it's... Hang on. Oh, when Rin Tin Tin... It didn't come up on my printout. When Rin Tin Tin died in 1932, Hollywood was interested in replacing the film star with Rajah, but Robertson felt the move to the U.S. was too much.
Wow.
Hey,
Crazy.
you know what? Finn did it. Finn did it.
Finn could have been
You
the
can
next
handle
Rin
it.
Tin Tin.
Rajah was born in 1928 and passed away in 1942. Jeez, that's a good life for a dog.
Wow.
14.
Wow.
That's good. All right.
For a big dog, too.
Yeah. Ian, in his later years, proudly said he was really the world's best. In 2015, a bronze statue of Rajah was placed at the entrance of Mount Hutt Function Center in Methven to celebrate Rajah, the wonder dog, and his contribution to the town's history. God.
Wow. What a good boy.
So he's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
What do you guys think about that? You know, dog stories.
Dog stories are the best stories. Like, really.
I wanted more. You know, I wanted more. We didn't read these beforehand. I wanted
Rajah?
I wanted to know what the fuck was
Police
going on
dogs are
when
pretty cool, though. Like,
But like, what happened to all the bodies they found embedded in concrete? Just, I mean, like it. Just, the story there should have been more
be a serial
elaboration.
podcast about that murder.
Absolutely. Jeez.
Pivot
You
this
guys could do
podcast.
it, Yeah. We're going off on a tangent today.
All right. So actually, we had two kind of shorter stories today,
Okay, great.
but
Those were short.
I
Oh,
know.
those were, yeah.
shorter
those were the
stories.
short-
Yeah.
Those were the short stories.
It's okay.
But I liked both of them. Very different.
We're happy.
Very true stories.
True. Very true. I would like to watch police dog training. Like, see what they do.
Well, it's very it's not as enjoyable as you'd think because like 90% of the time they're crated and things like that when
Right, true.
you're not on duty and like at night you sleep in a
Right.
crate or a secluded area and there's no like warm feel to
Sure,
it. So like
sure.
in a domestic home you don't typically want to do that type of training.
Right.
Maybe that's what Finn wants, though.
Maybe I mean that
Like, they
it's
have
not
a
about
job.
you
Like,
guys.
they're very much bred for, like, those
He
dogs
needs a
are very much
purpose.
bred to, like, they have a job.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking just like, I don't know, like you were saying, you want to just wrap your arm up, like they have those big like.
I wanna put an
bumpers
oven mitt
their
on and, like,
arms
let 'em
and
bite
then
me.
Just like see like what like what he'd
Oven
do,
mitt.
like attack mode.
Clearly, going on a walk with me like isn't really fulfilling much for him. He's like this guy
You
again.
currently
Like
have one hand, so
he's,
it's
this guy
like,
again.
what's
We're
up?
walking around, and he's like, no wonder he keeps looking at me. He's like, where's he gonna take me? anywhere fun, like finally.
And you're
Is he gonna let me
no,
maul
just
his
around the
arm?"
block.
Yeah, he's like, I just want to bite him. When's he gonna let me bite him?
Do you like fight some bad guys?
Yeah.
Or what are we doing
exactly.
here? Like, is,
No
is
wonder
there a
he's-
purpose
So
to this
boring.
walk? We're
He's
trying
like,
to
I've
go
been
somewhere.
sniffing out this bad guy. You won't let me go over there. Like,
He's like the best crime fighter that's never been like
Yeah,
dubbed
maybe,
a crime fighter.
maybe he is.
I wonder if he'd do really good with like boarding, like training, where he goes away for a
Thought
week
about
or
it.
whatever.
It might come to that.
yeah.
That would be like plan B.
Really? I was
Like
thinking that's
step-
like the next step.
Oh, so this,
Already found a place. Like we're moving in.
He leaves tomorrow.
Oh, funny that.
oh my god. All right. Okay. So how are we doing on time, Greggy?
Great.
Great.
Yeah.
No idea.
It could have been.
We're
any
at
time.
55
Great.
minutes here, Scott.
Great.
Oh, okay. Perfect,
Actually, not
perfect.
even because the intro song's already put in.
Wow.
Intro song,
So
baby.
54 minutes.
All right. Well, before we wrap things up, I know that Lindsay and Garnet, both of you are Game of Thrones fans.
Oh
Big
my
fans.
God, are we?
Actually, before I get into the final topic, did you guys see? I know 2 episodes. You probably heard about the coffee cup.
Oh, yeah.
that was right
Yep,
on
yep.
the table. Yeah.
Russian
What about
propaganda.
what about last episode when Jaime Lannister's hand was not gold when he was hugging Xerxes at the end?
Wait,
I did
what?
not. I
So
did
you know-
not. Can you pull?
Scott is the
Let me
only
try to
person
find
who's
it.
ever noticed.
Let me
this.
try to find
Apparently,
it.
Saw something-
there have been gaffes like the Starbucks cup before.
Gaffs, gifts.
Yeah,
I don't even
they
know how
put
to
a-
say it.
They put a truck in one episode.
Yeah, apparently, like there's
Chevy
been some
Tahoe.
really like bad ones.
That was
but
on purpose.
People
though.
haven't.
They were like, we need to sell this.
people haven't freaked out as much. Like,
Right. Here's my prediction. This whole thing takes place in modern
dream.
times.
It's like
In
Truman
Brand's
Show or what?
dream. And that's why there's like Starbucks cups and,
just gonna, like,
trucks.
wake up
and he's
in,
gonna
like,
wake
his
up in his
bed.
bed like sweating. He's like, "Whoo, this is rough. That's a rough dream."
wow.
I thought you meant like Truman Show-esque. Like everyone knows what's going on, really, but it's all
Like they're all just pretending.
there's
for
just a
his
bubble.
sake.
Like no wonder you can't go
They just like
from
yeah.
the world's not round
Nobody
in
knows
Westeros.
what's east
Like
of Essos.
yeah, what's west of Westeros?
So like Dany just
Exactly.
takes the throne and kills every single person. She's the only one left. They remove like the dome.
Yeah, and they're like,
people
"You've
just,
won.
Clapping.
You've won the Game
Oh
of
my
Thrones."
You win. Welcome to real life.
It's like Big Brother or something.
Right.
Like,
We figured it
the
out.
real world.
So look at this hand here. That's supposed to be no hand.
Gold hand.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
true. That's supposed to be.
Wow. You can
see
he's
that.
a righty.
Yeah.
Those are fingernails. That's a hand.
Damn it.
So-
You know what? I was still so fucking sucked in. Doesn't matter. Don't even care.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be content if he grew his hand back. I don't care. I love the show.
I want to know why they showed off that fancy ring that
What
Cersei
is
had on
that?
like, the whole time.
Does.
Oh,
Oh, so it's prosthetic. Oh, okay. So for those of you looking, it looks like when he's going through makeup, he has to almost have his arm in a sling position. Is that or
No,
is that?
that's the
oh,
fake
that's the
part.
fake. Wait, but why would?
from his elbow.
Oh,
they
because
they
maybe
make
that's
kind
when
of
they cut it off.
yeah, that was
The episode.
But
they
it
cut
would make
off.
cut
sense
off,
if-
or he was in.
that this part though was the fake part, but it looks like that's the real part right now.
Yeah.
I think that has to be the real because there's a hand there.
No,
this is
because
nonsense right now.
No, but it looks like he would
He's
want
bending his
to
elbow
bend
like
his elbow
this, and
in.
they put
I know, but it looks like he doesn't have a hand here. I don't fucking know.
wow.
Either way, guys, we don't know what we're talking about. We have no idea how movie production and
No
the
idea.
makeup stuff works.
But it's very interesting.
Interesting to look
To look
at.
at.
movie magic.
But in terms of
How do you think? How do you think that
I
the
mean,
Game of
Dany's
Thrones is
gonna
going to end
die.
up?
She's going to die this episode, I believe. I don't know who's gonna kill her, but I think she's.
She's fucking
done.
become a real cunt.
Unfortunately, yes, they've
Lunis?
kind of just did a complete 180 with her, and she's now
Well, yeah,
the mad queen.
her nephew didn't smooch her, so she got all butthurt and burned down the city.
Well, when you say it like that,
Hey, just calling it as it is, man.
She did seem more comfortable with the whole incest thing than John did. So
hey, you know what? If
Love
that's
is
her
love is
thing.
love.
If that's her thing. All right. So
Love
how do you
is
think?
love.
How do you think it's going to end up, though?
it's like I don't even know. What do you think?
Why are you struggling with this?
I just really.
We think about it a lot.
I
It's
want.
okay if
and now
you're wrong.
the mic's on.
all-
And
it's all right if you're wrong.
they're gonna rewrite it for whatever we say. So
What an idiot!
when it finally
That
happens, she's
girl.
gonna be like, "That's what I
Doesn't
said."
know anything. Because I don't know. I feel like there's no. Everything else was like pretty predictable. Like you knew they were going to defeat the White Walkers.
Oh, here
Obviously.
she goes.
Yeah, or else the show end.
But
Or
now
else
it's
everyone
like,
dies,
guys,
but I
there's
was like,
no
might happen.
clues. What do you think?
Well, I don't really want to. I know a lot of people look into what's going to happen, all the theories and stuff, and I'd almost rather not know or look into it, or because everyone will say a theory, and I'm like, well, if that happens, like you just spoiled the whole thing.
Right, you just ruined the
I
whole
just ruined
show.
it. Like,
Yeah.
I'd rather go in kind of blind and not even thinking about it, and be like, just like every season when everyone's died, no one theorized like
Yeah.
Ned
The
Stark's
red
gonna
wedding.
die. The red
So
wedding. People were like,
God.
I think everyone's gonna go on the wedding and just
Except
get
those
killed.
of us that read the
like,
books.
Like I'm the same way. I hate watching the like next on like clips because then you kind of get a hint of what's going on. Like I hate watching
mastered
those
it,
because I
though.
want like.
But
the
you still don't
surprise,
know.
they've
Yeah.
mastered it. They're like, here's Cersei looking really mad, and you're like, she's gonna get mad next
And then there's
week.
like what you.
like, I should like, oh man, you know what I mean? And like really,
Yeah.
And there's
she
like
ate
what
something
you.
sour. Like you don't even know what she's mad about. Like,
There's like what you want to happen too, and then what you think is going to happen. Like
Oh,
what
yeah.
I want to happen probably isn't realistic, and
What
is
do you
What do you
not
want to
going to
happen?
happen.
Come on, get it out. Get it
I
out.
want,
Everyone loves
I
everyone.
want them to create a democracy.
Oh,
like
dear God. That'll
destroy
never happen.
destroy the throne. Tyrion like kind of leads some sort of.
Tyrion's so stupid
All right,
now.
well-
like it just.
He's also
They
a
really-
violent drunk.
they've,
Not
like-
violent. He's a
they've-
sexual drunk.
They've killed his character. Like he was
sexual
the
drunk?
smartest person, and now it's just he's an idiot. I don't know. Like
This whole season,
Maybe he sits on the throne at the end.
God,
I
maybe
don't
he
think-
does. Maybe Sansa.
I think Sansa would make
Sansa,
sense.
what a bitch. She was the worst in the beginning,
She's
though.
the worst.
I mean, she was like unintelligent. Like she just didn't know what was going on. Yeah, like kind of ditzy. Wasn't the best actress. I didn't say that. But now she's kind of pulling on that power move.
Have
that
you
power
have
role.
you watched her? What were you showing me? the other-
everything.
Her Instagrams post.
She just had a live video today, and I was like
She-
on Insta, and I like tried clicking
Garnet's
it,
like,
and I
is
missed.
she
and I was
always drunk? Like
Yes.
making these videos about like.
She's just drinking red wine, just like
I think she like might have some depression issues though. Like now that people called her like a shitty actress,
Really?
and then she like started boosting, but now she's like kind of getting in the limelight because she's boosting and
well,
like
she's
being
doing,
outspoken.
Her
what's the other?
acting's
X-Men-
gotten better.
X-Men
It
or
has
something.
gotten better
She's
though.
doing one of
Oh
those.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
she
she's
is.
gonna be like the Phoenix
Yeah,
or
the
something.
Dark Phoenix or
whatever.
something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
But-
looked terrible.
Bummer.
Thanks,
You're the
Greg.
reason. No.
Well, she's marrying a Jonas.
All right, here's a prediction.
yeah.
prediction.
what-
He'll be making money.
Danny sits on the throne.
Danny.
Okay.
Daenerys.
Is there a throne
Targaryen?
anymore, by the way?
So there
Doesn't
is
matter.
a throne.
A hypothetical throne.
Not in the red
Dig
keep.
it up,
Not
yeah.
in the red keep.
And
That's
they're-
for sure.
She's sitting on the throne
That's
in the
true.
red keep, all alone, all crazy. Arya tries to kill her,
John kills. Oh,
and Arya gets eaten by a dragon.
wow.
This whole time, John has said "fuck it" and is up north, just living his life like a boss.
Okay,
I
well,
could
that's
see
a
that. I could
bachelor's
see that.
mindset.
And they end with Danny on the throne because no one wants it. And
It's like a
two-
20-minute episode, though.
However, they
Well, I didn't give you the play-by-play. Jesus.
Greg, give us your entire script.
it was such
Start
a
to finish.
simple episode, Greg.
I actually wrote it. I wrote it. Surprise!
I've
I
been
wrote.
acting it out all
I wrote
week.
the last 2 seasons.
I feel like they have to incorporate Bran somehow. Like he's been non-existent.
And
He already
You don't
knows.
like
He already
Bran.
knows. I mean, if Bran was here, he'd just like spill the beans on what's going to happen.
They've really
No, he
treated
doesn't know
him
the
poorly
future,
as
dude.
well.
Arya's gonna kill Grey Worm, take his
wait,
face,
he's already dead.
And then kill Dan.
and then
Wait, Grey
try
Worm?
and kill Danny.
Ooh.
Mixing it up. Grey was
Love
definitely
it.
already dead, but
No, I know. I just remembered who Grey Word was. Sorry.
I think.
Interesting, Garnet.
I think
different-
Danny's
yeah,
gonna
inter-
try
yeah.
and
Deeper than what I thought.
But then
spit some fire at John.
Literally or figuratively.
Literally,
Ooh.
Dracarys him.
Tasty.
Okay.
And I think he's gonna be standing there just like the Night King was, and was like, "I'm Targaryen." Like,
Yeah, that's I've thought that
I
too.
won't. And the dragon won't do it.
or the
That's what
dragon
I
won't
thought.
do it, or he like
Because
yeah.
if you think about
It's like,
it,
this is
Danny
one of my
walked
own.
into the fire, so like John obviously
Right.
can't get hot.
exactly.
Can't burn either. Mind is blown.
and that's how everyone's gonna be like, he's Targaryen. Now everyone's gonna know,
And then he rules.
and then he rules,
We
and
should
then
read
everyone
this.
was like,
But then what
the
happens to
man
Danny?
who carries
John
the
kills her.
Yeah, the man who carries the sentence passes on.
I got a
What
better
was it?
one for you.
He swings a sword.
You want to know who kills Danny?
Ooh, yeah.
The survivors of King's Landing.
Like they stone
There's
her
like
to
3
death?
of them.
Yeah. Like, what do you mean? Every single person?
The horse,
it's like-
the
it's
white
like-
horse.
It's like the ultimate revenge,
That would be poetic justice.
right? Like she should have let him live.
She
'Cause that's
should
what
have.
happened. She did the right thing. She didn't do the right thing, so now they come back.
should
Or
and
they
bring
enslave
John
her.
up.
Ooh.
Love that too.
And they
Just
treat
send
her like
over to
shit.
Essos.
Yeah.
Put that like collar that all the slaves wear.
No bueno. All right,
Wow.
so this is what I think.
Okay.
Thanks, right into the mic.
I think
gonna sound great on
I think everybody fucking dies. Everybody's dead.
There's just like a Shakespeare tragedy where everybody
almost. But they bring back that original
Sorry.
affair and the mystery
Affair?
of the Targaryen affair. And at some point,
don't know what he's
Danny,
talking about.
listen.
Does anyone know what he's
I'm
talking
not
about?
done yet. Midway
Rhaegal
through, Greg.
and Lyanna.
At some point, Danny or Jon Snow or Arya, I mean, she's fucking now. She looks like she's 13, but she's fucking.
She's 18 in real
Sansa,
life.
I know
It's cool.
she's 23, I think. But somebody was fucking that has some royal blood in them. Everybody dies, and then out comes a newborn bloody baby, and that's the queen or king. I don't think that's going to happen, but I thought it'd be cool.
But if everybody dies,
You guys
who's
already gave your
delivering the
input.
child.
I can't wait till Sunday. No.
We will know soon.
Episode
This come
15,
out
everyone.
before
That's
that?
been a fun
Man.
idiot.
All right. Well, guys, let's wrap it up. Thank you, Lindsay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
Thank you, Garnet, for coming on.
thank
Oh,
you.
thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's been fun. We got the dogs chilling.
Dog Leah.
Appreciate it, though.
We drank some beers.
Yeah, we had some beers.
We talked the talk.
Garnet's like, I love the ruby
We
red
wagged our
Kolsch.
tails.
Don't judge him.
Yes, everyone.
Yeah.
He has said
Genesee.
it. He loves
Ruby
Jenny.
Red Kolsch. You
Genesee
think we could get an
Ruby Red
endorsement?
Kolsch.
Yeah. Brewed right in the
Genesee,
Genesee
reach out to
River.
us.
Yes, that is from Rochester's finest
Brewed
water.
from the water.
Yeah,
That is
from
the finest water.
Genesee
the
River.
body ridden water.
A fun story about the Genesee Brewery. They
Yes.
get their water for free. Want to know why?
Yes.
Because
on
they
the river.
sit at the end of the water line. So the city of Rochester needs them to run the water to clear the line and keep it moving. So you're getting like the ass end of Rochester water right there, buddy. That's
why-
the good stuff.
That's why the beer is so good.
That's why it tastes so
Love
good.
that dirty
Beer flows
water.
like, beer flows like wine, and a woman flops like a salmon
That's
capistrano.
Rochester's finest.
Where the beer floats like wine. Oh, man. All right, cool.
It tastes so good.
All right, so wrap it up. You can follow us at Barkology Pod on Twitter, Barkology Podcast everywhere else if you listen to podcasts. Follow us on Podbean at barkology.podbean.com. And you can get the WAG swag at barkology.itemorder.com. Get the sweatshirts, the gear, the tumblers, the
Put it on
stickers.
the old back.
Stickers.
All that
We got
shit.
stickers.
And we usually wrap up the episode by saying Wagmore Bark Less. The last guy we had do this, Greg and I just like prematurely jumped the gun, said Wagmore Bark Less before he knew, so let's do it on 3. You guys got it? All right, 1, 2, 3. Wagmore Bark Less.
Unless you're Finn.